Ready?
No.
Hey, thank you.
Awesome. All right, everyone.
Wait a
Welcome
minute.
to
Wait
the
a minute.
2024.
Yeah. Oh no, you said
We
go.
good? Okay.
Yes.
Welcome
Yes.
to the 2024 New South Wales Plastic Model Show. We're here with two of the organisers of the show. Would you guys like to introduce yourselves?
Okay, I'm Darren. I'm the Secretary Treasurer of the Illawarra Plastic Models Club. And my colleague here.
I'm Brendon Moss, and I'm the president of the club. So, welcome.
Awesome.
Thank you. So, of course, I'm Julius, and we're joined by Triston behind the camera. I'm not sure if he'll turn the camera around to introduce himself. But
No, usually not. I'm the voice with no name.
All
no.
right.
What? How is that said? Never mind. So,
All right.
gentlemen, good to see you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Thank you for taking the opportunity to promote the club and the show.
Yeah.
Live feed, much appreciated.
Yep.
So here's our few of our members here at the front desk talking public today. Obviously a bit quieter today because competition was yesterday. But you know, shows like this, we need people like this doing the good work, keep the show running. So thanks to everybody.
Hey guys,
Good morning.
you're famous now on Livestream.
That's right.
Rightio.
The venue here is Illawarra Sports Stadium in Berkeley. We've been here now for 10 years.
Yeah.
Show's growing. A lot of traders this year. Modelling, you know, it's one of those hobbies that sort of might go up and down in terms of entries. And
Is it difficult to organise? How long has it been running for? The show?
Probably 25 years.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so this is a routine every year.
Yeah, but we're still improving every year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like now with the online entry system, it's almost seamless, but yeah.
Yeah, that's a big
pretty
change
good.
from in the old days, it's a paper manual system that involves a lot of writing out.
Yeah.
It's very labour intensive, but now it's an online system. Like I said, moving forward, got some people in the club who are very
IT friendly.
IT
Yeah.
savvy.
Yeah.
Really good at work.
Are you both modelers yourselves? Or you
Yes.
have to be, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We try to be.
Okay. Okay. Between you, which one is the better modeler?
Oh, he is.
Okay.
I'll probably dispute that. Well, like
There's some
anything,
humble
depends.
pie already. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Oh my goodness.
it's for some reason we have very different tastes in modelling at times.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we've got a few where there's a crossover.
Yep.
But we, Brendon here likes the more left field stuff. I prefer the more mainstream,
Oh, yeah.
more historically based sort of modelling.
Yep.
Okay.
I always like military history, so that's where my interest mainly lies. So Brendon's a bit of everything. He's esoteric with his
Bit of bent
choices.
towards science fiction and probably modern armour these days, actually, because there's some really good stuff coming out, although it's insanely complex and takes way too long to build. So, anyway.
So, Julius, what are you interested in? Just out of curiosity.
I can't handle a high parts count of modern armour, so I tend to stick to the 1 to 72nd scale aircraft. How about you?
Yeah, I'm 1/72 mostly these days, although I've got so many kits, it's ridiculous. You know, some of the larger kits, and yeah, they sort of start to become a bit expensive as a collector, but fully intend to build, of course. But yeah, last one was a 1 to 144 Wildcat in a diorama for one of the group builds, and at the moment I'm working on the space battleship Yamato. So I've got a bit of a sort of wide-ranging taste, although I'm not really into armour, but certainly I can appreciate it. So how obviously the show's been going quite a while. What do you see as being so far the key highlight out of everything here? The judging's already happened, hasn't it?
Yes, it happened last night.
Yeah, so the way we run the show, Saturday people bring their entries in up to 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
So we close off. By about 4:30, we've hopefully got everyone out the door, and then we sort of get straight into some judging. Like most sort of competitions, we have teams of judges go around, usually groups of 3, so that you can always make a decision.
Yep.
It shouldn't be a deadlock on a decision around what a model is or isn't. We move pretty quickly. It's a fairly straightforward, simple system.
We're all about people coming back, so it's all about encouragement, really.
the longer that you've been at this, obviously with judging, the wiser you get as to for certain topics and the history and the source material, and and whether you're looking for something that is more faithful or it's more technically impressive. All sorts of things in there, aren't there? Yeah.
Yeah, well, we have attempted to streamline this show to a point where, from a competitor's point of view and administration and the amount of people we have that can actually judge and run show. We don't want to be here to midnight doing judging. And I sort of tell you in the early days, that was probably the case.
Yeah.
We probably didn't know enough people, and a lot of entries. It was very labour intensive. It just soaked up a lot of time, and that's going to switch people off. So we've got to the point now, from an entry system, it's very streamlined. People like that. We've got all the information available around competitors' details, the model, so when we make decisions, we can quickly move on. Exactly who the winners are. There's no sort of chasing back to big folders of entry forms trying to find someone.
Shall we have a look at some of the highlights, like some of the models that you thought, oh, well, actually, and like the winners, I should say, and just get your thoughts. It would be really nice.
We'll start with the juniors, of course.
Yeah, well, here's the junior entries. Rightly or wrongly, we certainly want more juniors involved with the hobby. Certainly try to encourage that. You'll find that most of these models are actually built by one particular person. He's done very well. So he has built everything you see here, bar
A little book nook.
The book nook sort of model there. But juniors is sort of 1 year, the next you're not quite sure what you'll get.
Yeah.
We not try and encourage juniors. We have a policy from pretty much day one. They get a prize for every entrant. They get a free kit. And hopefully they build that for the next year and come back.
Yeah.
They always get gold. They're not judged in the same way we do the senior judging.
Okay.
Again, it's just a gold across the board. We want kids to come away feeling good. I think if you sort of put a silver or bronze medallion and medal ribbon against someone's model, they might not take it the wrong way. So we try and encourage kids to stay in the hobby. Yesterday there was lots of kids here, and certainly saw some walking out with a model under their arm, so that's good. Maybe they'll come back next year.
And of course, at the moment, it's there's a reasonable number of people here. I think it's starting to pick up. It's Sunday. It's the second day.
Sunday is always
a little bit quieter in the morning.
Always.
Yeah.
You think the Saturday, you've got people like this show has been around long time. So there's a lot of people who come here on the Saturday for a number of reasons. One, competitors. They come in and drop their models off. So, but you've also got just guys involved in the hobby from other clubs who know the show's on, so they come in to see and buy stuff from the traders. Also, we've got a very good swap and sell. I know some people who pretty much they buy their year's worth of kits at the swap and sell.
Yep.
They don't go to a shop. They go to the swap and sell and buy half a dozen kits. And, they go away with a bargain or two, and they build them for the next year.
Yeah.
So
That's the plan anyway.
well, some people actually do.
Yeah, that's true.
I think a lot of kids like myself, my uncle actually built model kits and unfortunately passed away at a young age. But he left me a couple of model kits, and I did build when I was younger. And then obviously life takes over, and you leave from school and you enter into work and whatnot. But then if it's something that you really enjoyed as a passion, you're very likely to come back to it. And being part of a club or being part of something where you could connect with other people and talk about their experiences, and it really brings home. It's for everyone. It's for kids and when you get older. And
It's interesting. It's by nature a very solitary activity.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, and I think what you've just described is probably, let's say, 80% of the models have sort of done that. Well, let's put it in context. So if you're 40 to 55 or 60 years of age, you grew up at a time when modelling was quite popular as a hobby. You can buy models everywhere. They were cheap.
Yeah.
Lots to choose from. Every shop, pretty much any shop, was selling them. People in the late 70s, 80s.
Excuse me, sorry.
My recollection. Every time I used to go shopping with mum or dad, would come over and buy.
But the other thing too is technology has changed. Like, so a lot of those old kits, whether vacuum or beyond, with as you know the fitting which is not so good, and some of it from overseas and whatnot. But as we've gone along now, we've got incredible fitment on the newer kits. Some of them, yeah, I know there's a lot of reboxing, but there's also a lot of very good stuff that's come out, and it makes it more competitive. I think people have more of a chance to try and get the detail, highlight the detail.
Yeah, but to be honest, you put in as much work as you want to at the end of the day. It doesn't matter if it's 500 Wunderkind kit or something from Frog from the mid-70s. You'll put in as much effort as you want to.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, some people take those older kits because the topic is sort of a little bit rarer. And they'll really turn it into something special, spend the time scratch building and, putting in the effort, the hard yards, and you come up with some beautiful stuff. See what some people do.
And there's still that nostalgia sort of factor with this hobby. There's the fellow in our club, he was saying today, and he's nearly 60, he's saying he's still got the first model that he built as a kid. He's still got. So he's crashed a lot of other ones in the meantime, but he's still got the first one. So he's got a high degree of sentimentality for him. And that's what the hobby's about sometimes. I mean, we try to rekindle some of that by having some special categories. This year we had a Matchbox sort of category, and also plus
Some of your 80s.
1984 catalogue from the Tamiya range of kits. That, I think there was a time when we all started to get into that next. Companies like Tamiya were just emerging here in Australia. And I sort of remember buying kits for sort of $10 or $15. It seemed a lot of money back then for a kit. In sort of building 35th scale armour and loading up on those.
Shall we move to the next set of categories?
That's always a popular category, and I'll be the first to admit that I have a lot of respect for these guys. The quality of work, you're going to have flawless paintwork. It's really heavily scrutinised. I had not often, but I will take it off to all these guys, and it's a tough gig.
Well, especially, I mean, painting in itself. When you get people that really know what they're doing, and every single shade, whether it's matte or gloss, and the finish, and they literally polish these cars.
Well, this is as close to perfection you get in the hobby. Because the finish required on these models, I might be 10 for you. They're weathered to different levels, and if there's something not quite in the paintwork, you can potentially disguise or blend that in.
Have you guys built these or built any of these before?
No? I've built a few cars when I was young. Certainly not to this standard. I think these guys are right up to the top of the modelling tree. Ability. They can just have a flawless finish across every part of the model. That's what they have to do.
Some of this is
paints,
really impressive.
Every little discrepancy, little flaws. If you can get away and sort of put together a model that doesn't have any of that,
when they get those
very good, very talented models.
Those lighter colours mixed with the darker colours like this, I can imagine how tricky it is to really get the right colour and the right gloss on it. Spend that time and get something that it's got a very smooth finish, no ripples, no nothing.
This really is as close to perfection in the hobby as you'll probably find.
And it's funny. It's like some people who don't know this hobby, might be tempted to say, "Oh, you can just go to get a die-cast car, go and buy that. You don't need to build it or do anything like that. But I think, like anything, it's like a story. Part of the journey is the fun of it. Being able to build it and do the research and bring something joyful to everyone.
I think that's the challenge in modelling these days, because technology now allows you to 3D print a model.
Oh yeah.
So is there some sort of dilution of ability because you're not actually building models, maybe you're painting exercise and a deckling exercise rather than a building. You sort of what modelling was about. You took a box of parts and turned it into.
It's not necessarily like a bad thing at all.
It's just technology.
It's just technology, yeah.
And I personally, I encourage anyone to just get into the hobby, no matter what medium they're using. It's a great hobby. It's certainly better than other hobbies.
So,
same as the cars.
something I'll say is just to add in. So what we've done is we've taken some high-res images, which obviously, we'll make sure that everyone's got use of those and access to them. So we can't really get that high-res on videos like this. So it complements nicely. And the second thing is, when we talk about technology, I think of gamers. So many moons ago, I used to play World of Warcraft. Okay, maybe there's a copyright strike there, I don't know. But I used to play that, and I played that for a number of years. And one of the things that happened was a company popped up that would 3D print the figurines. So you take your character, which was online, and then get it 3D printed, which is amazing. So you customize your character in the game, and then suddenly you could get a full version of that. But in amongst that, you still have to have skills, because once you've got that, it's got to be painted.
Absolutely, and that's a big part of the modelling sort of skill, is finishing a model with the true colours, making it realistic, or to whatever degree you want it to be realistic. And that's the thing, what people need to remember, it's a hobby. Everyone's got a different taste. People will build a model to what they like and what they enjoy, and there shouldn't be any sort of prescribed standard that everyone should subscribe to.
Yeah, paint it this way.
Absolutely. You see a lot of stuff online. People put up a piece of work, they build it, they like it.
So wait a
Build it in
minute.
a certain style.
You organise this, and you're the president, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys, I just
You're the
realised
one
you guys are really into this. Sorry, but it just shines through. I think to go to the effort and to be in communication with people and organise and have the tables and the space and the categories and spend the time. It's a part of your lives, and certainly brings a lot of people together.
Yeah, and while I enjoy it, I'll keep doing it. Yeah, that's the bottom line.
I guess the other part of it is, to your point, tastes are evolving. So things are changing. There are more 3D prints now. So at the moment, they just go into an open category. But potentially, we need to do something about that.
Yeah.
And just be flexible with what people are actually building. So
Plus remember too, modelling companies are now providing so much more material in a box.
It's a bit of a mix, isn't it?
To what it was 10 or 15 years ago.
Yeah.
In the old days, you just got styrene.
Yep.
And you used to have these out-of-box categories, which you had to build a kit with the plastic in the kit, and very limited options to modify or change. And now companies are throwing in metal barrels, individual track links, headsets,
photo edge,
masks, all sorts of extra bits that used to be classed as accessories in the past, and you'd have to actually go to someone else and buy them to it. Now it's sort of democratized everything, and a lot of companies have gone that road, and that's where I sort of see some traders that in the past have done very well at some shows, but they sell those sort of accessories. Now they're competing against mainstream manufacturers.
For 3D print, on mass their own parts, and then sell them and have a business out of it, and they fit that niche category on something that you can't really get elsewhere, that you would have to build yourself. and it's already there. It's something you can choose and select and easily integrate into what you're doing. And
the 3D thing is great because, while I guess these days we're sport for choice with models, again, the last 5 or 10 years, it's an explosion in the number of manufacturers. A lot of it out of China, and some of it is good, really good, or indifferent, depends on who you talk to. But the variety of subjects available for anyone to build, people wish we had a 1/30 scale of this. Now you've probably got 5 or 6 options
in different scales.
Different scales from a number of different manufacturers. And so it's sport for choice. So it's a great time to be a hobby. There's so much choice, and no matter what your interest is, there's something everywhere. Maybe we could come through here and go.
well, we're just sort of looking around, but I don't know. What do you think is a highlight here? I saw the one of the helicopter, the 1 to 32 helicopter over there was quite impressive.
Absolutely.
Yes. I mean, how much work went into that? We took a lot of shots.
Yeah.
Well, something in itself is pretty detailed, but he's converted it into a firebomb.
So he's taken a military aircraft, converted to a civilian aircraft, and then converted it to a water tanker. And that also, people see that, and also they have some sort of recognition because they were here in Australia fighting the bushfires, became quite famous. We'd see them on the news every night. They had Elvis and Elsie had the two out here operating. So people actually knew and saw them on a regular basis, so they can appreciate. I remember that a couple of years ago. They were out here fighting the fires.
I mean, that to me is like one of the highlights because you don't often see something like that at that sort of level. Was 1 to 32. I think the larger that you go, the more work there is in getting it to look how it should look with the detail.
Certainly more room for error.
It's different. It is different. It's not. Of course, there are different skill levels. But like I've worked on 1 to 144, and you find yourself like with magnification, working. You keep trying to adjust and move, and tiniest little hand move that is like huge error. Whoops! Oh no. But even so, on the 1 to 32 scale, you tend to find that the really good modelers are doing the same thing at that scale, maybe using magnification just to make sure that the detail is correct enough.
Certainly the palette, because it's so much bigger, there's more room for error.
Yeah.
So, like you said, 1/44th, it's difficult because it's small. 1/32nd is also difficult because it's big.
Yeah. And so it makes you appreciate every single time you see these, really good examples that come in that people have obviously, been passionate about, done the research, gone back and checked through everything. When you're looking at this, well, at least for me, and I probably speak for many people with the same mindset, it takes you back a little bit. It's like, wow, think of all the work that must have gone into this and the time and effort. And, this is really great to see. Like it's you come here in person. I think we can show all the images we like. We can have videos. We can do the same thing that nearly everyone else is doing. But when you come here, you see in person, it takes on that little bit
It's
of
a different level.
extra factor. Yeah. I think what we'll do is we'll quickly have a look. What are the winning categories here?
We've actually got
the one where you think that's a masochist award.
Well, we actually got the best in show.
Best in show. Shall we just stand over there and maybe talk about one of them? And I don't know what you guys feel comfortable with. But if there's anything else as well, we could talk about.
Okay. Well,
Yes.
This model here, Mirage 2000, 1/32nd scale.
Took some shots of this earlier. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
I mean,
and,
that work with the shading. Wow.
So again, the collective opinion of our judging team last night, this was judged the overall winner of the show, best in show. It is a spectacular model in many respects. The finish is flawless. The weathering is, realistic. The detailing is sensational. Attention to detail, excellent. So it ticks all the boxes in what we would look at as being a well-built, presented model. And trying to pick the best in show from so we've got 270 inches, narrowing it down to one is not an easy task.
And the choices range between a Warhammer figure and this, so you've got everything in between. And so that comes down to the collective thoughts of a group of us. And last night, this was the one that trumped.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is glorious to see. I mean, I think it's one of those things where you put that up in a prominent position in your house, and you just be proud that it's there. Yeah, I mean, it's a large example too. So there might be a case or something that the owner has, stored it in usually or whatnot. And a lot of these kits, I think, suffer from dust getting on them and that sort of thing.
It's the modeller's bane, isn't it?
Yes.
So where do you stick your models when you finish? And well, for those who finish, that's right. There's a lot of people who start a lot too and don't necessarily finish. But it is a challenge, and I think that's where I think we could play a better part in providing those sort of models to museums or RSL clubs. Locally we have ours, which is a fantastic collection of Australian aircraft. Talk to them on various occasions about, so we happily put a display case down there and build some models.
Those are very good points, because this is where that historical side of things.
You cannot always have a replica or real plane. And museums I've visited or museums I've heard about overseas, they might have a collection of very good aircraft, but they can't have everything. And people like to see stuff. One of the things we do at our show is we have a big display table, and we encourage people to bring models in because it just gives that much more for people to look at. It's great to run a show, but if you're just the public wandering there and come in and have a look at a model, well, we can't guarantee what models will be here at 10 o'clock in the morning on the Saturday.
That's right.
You probably got a quarter of the entries. So having something, getting other clubs involved with displays, the Wargaming Club from Illawarra is here, they're running games, so people have something to see there. There's the club, APMA, IPMS. We've got some people actually building kits.
Firestorm's here as well. And,
So we've got people, it's not just about what the finished product is, it's about, how do you get that journey from the box to a table finished model. So, we happily have those clubs here every year.
More often than not, they'll start one on a Saturday morning, and by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, they put something on a table. So,
It's not like some sort of secret squirrel society that we're all hermits and no one knows what we do, and we just turn up with a model. It's these days it's very inclusive because the internet and now mediums, YouTube and all these sort of other media ways to promote the hobby. They're there, and there's forums. We can all talk to each other. I certainly remember during COVID, we set up a group using Messenger. We'd sort of all be sitting there with a laptop or an iPad there, and we'll be talking to each other while we're sitting there building our models.
It was fun, like having those build sessions like that.
There was some very interesting banter at times between mates, and particularly as you sort of invariably in modelling, you sometimes do make a mistake or break something, part drops on the floor, you spill paint, and the rest of us we were having a pretty good chuckle at the expense of the poor person.
It's such a big area. There's so many disciplines that come together with modelling. So painting and sculpting and fitment and even design and scratch building and all sorts of things that come together. And people really are passionate about what they do, right down from people who maybe do it as a bit of fun, through to people who are ultra serious about trying to get the best possible result.
And that's again, you come back to that point about modelling is different tastes. And I think in the moment there's far too emphasis on certain people trying to push the way they model as being the way everyone should model.
Yeah.
The reality is
Not
there's
everyone can do it.
so many different genres and the way people want to build a model, finish a model, what they're happy with compared to what other people think it should be. And one of the things we were talking about as a group yesterday, just at lunchtime, is some of these online forums, the attacking and the negativity. It just gets out of control.
I think that happens with just about any sport or any hobby. You do get differences of opinion, but the one thing that I have seen is that just about every one of the clubs are driven towards communication. They're driven towards having fun, there's so much connection between the clubs, and I think there's a great community. There's a lot of support now between everyone. And sure, people may try to outdo each other, in the hobby itself, but in reality, people share the techniques and they, share
And that's
the
absolutely
knowledge.
important to grow for the hobby. So as a club, our club has gone through a transition period over the last, say, 20 years. If you sort of roll the clock back about 20 years ago, we probably had 15, 20 people maximum at a meeting. We probably got 4 or 5 models on the table that people had built. There was very little, groups would just stand over there, they talk about their stuff, another group over there talk about their stuff, and there wasn't much going on as a group. And, so we had some change in club leadership where we started to put in place and, just try and make it a bit more inclusive.
Yeah, more challenges for everyone.
So we started a few incentives to get people to bring more models into meetings. Giving an annual trophy. And I know that sounds like why you give a trophy, but it was a participation trophy more than anything. Bring a model to the meeting. If it's construction, you get a point. If it's a finished model,
It's not a bad thing if it makes people feel good.
And what we want to do is, and we're very, I mean, this is important too. It's an unwritten sort of rules of the club that we say to people: you come here to have fun.
Yeah.
You don't bag out people's models. It's not sheep stations. If you want to help people, please do so. If you see someone at the club meeting who you don't recognise, go and say hello. Don't just stand there and say, who's that over there? Go say hello to them. They might be a very good modeler the first time they come along. You don't want that to be the last time they come. You want them to come back. So make a point of anyone that comes to our club meetings who's wandered in, whether accidentally sometimes, the wrong door, but we always ask, can we help you? And they say, just come for a look.
Also, I just sort of add to that, and something that's just from what you were saying just sparked in my mind just then, is that people know each other over a very long period of time in some cases, where they've shared and grown in their techniques and abilities. And someone who you knew from when you were 16, and you see them at the club and they've continued, and you're suddenly sharing, or at least in some cases may have known this person and been at the club together for such a long time. So there's a long history, and it builds up, and the knowledge builds up. So it is something that's so rich, and so many people can enjoy and share in that knowledge. And that's what you guys are doing. You're perpetuating and keeping the skills and the interest alive. And
That's the aim anyway.
And
it's difficult sometimes.
And it works. I mean, these shows are great. And some years you have huge attendance. Some years you have a little bit less attendance, but it's regular, and you're still having the competitions. You still, even if it's just one kid that comes in and says, "Oh wow, this is great! I'm going to want to buy some kits." You've won.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much. But this is on a big scale. A lot of people here, and we've had as we said before, Sunday mornings. This is actually a good time for us to talk with you because there are a little bit fewer people around. But yesterday was quite busy.
Listen, this is the day to appreciate what's on the table. You get a chance to look at everything. The models have been sort of reconfigured to allow people to look at it a bit better. And they're sort of dumped on the tables by competitors. They sort of put them on, and they're off to do whatever they want then. But today's the day where everyone's a bit more casual. we now obviously present the awards so people know what's won what. In the past, I think what we did seek to change was you had to wait right to the end of the day. People just want to pretty much go home, and then we're saying, well, this model won what, and then people don't have a chance to actually see the model on the table, which one actually won, or the category wins. So we sort of, a couple of years ago, instituted change where we put them on the table, sort of put the sort of flyer or identifier to say that this one's best in the category, or best in the show, or best Australian aircraft, best, and people can then, what they take from that, that's up to them. It's what we have chosen. Some people might disagree with that, but overall, we sort of think that we're doing a good job. We get most people come back next year. So there's your sort of measure of success, I guess.
Exactly.
If they come away happy, they've always given ribbons for every model. That's something we've done pretty much since day one. So it's not something we're seeking to change, that's for sure. We like to sort of give people some sort of benchmark on their modelling. So it's a gold, silver, bronze ribbon. And a bronze ribbon doesn't mean it's a bad model. It just means that there's some areas you can improve, and you look at some of the other models in the category and say, well, what can I do better? People want to have a chat and say, well,
What is it that scored me this ribbon? And people are more than
we
welcome
can
to
give
come and have a
some
chat.
general feedback, nothing specific. But, we try to keep things on a sort of level where we're encouraging people and not discouraging. So we're trying to find what's right with models, not what's wrong with them. Always try to sort of something silver, possibly gold. Then we'll probably say it's a gold rather than a silver. It's about encouragement. And again, like I said, if we can get one person who maybe put one model in because they weren't sure, and then they come away with a good feeling, next year they bring back 2 or 3. And that's really all we're asking and wanting. Grow the show, grow participation, and people to leave you on the Sunday afternoon and feel like they've had a good time. Not to see our taste in their mouth and had a good time. We bought some models, spent some money, learned something, met some new mates, made some friends. That's what we're about.
Well, I've got to say, it's been an absolute pleasure talking with you fellas.
No problem.
And, just seeing the models here and being at the show, I've really enjoyed myself. So speaking for myself. And I think a lot of happy people have come here and, seen what's been put together. And, the competition, obviously, some very skilled, must be hard with the entries sometimes to judge. Okay, well, there's only one tiny little thing that's different here, so therefore, we pick this one.
That's fair.
So, I think it's a testament to everyone who's brought in, take the time to build these, bring them in, set them up, have what they've done on display and put all the effort into everything beforehand, and then organising this as well in the way that you've done. And you've been very continuous with that organisation each year, bringing it back to everyone and allowing for the new entries to be seen and prepared against. It's been an absolute pleasure, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Yep, I think we'll finish the live stream. Let you go about your day today. And,
No worries.
But nice to have that in-depth talk. I think we'll call it there.
Cheers, guys.
All right, but the live stream may
Congratulations
go
on
on a
another
little bit
successful
longer.
show as well.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you, gentlemen. So I
I want
think
to just finish up by taking a quick
I think
wander
we'll
around,
just look around.
highlight some of the winning entries.
I think yesterday we tried. Oh, hang on. Let's go over here quickly. Yeah. How you going? So I'm Triston. What was your name?
Andrew.
Andrew. Nice to meet you, mate.
Likewise.
And I think we've been here a couple of times. Just yesterday, wandering past. But I think you were fairly busy with customers, which is a good thing.
Good day yesterday.
Yeah, it was pretty busy, wasn't it? And
It did.
yeah, which I think is very healthy. It's a little bit quieter this morning, which we know because it's Sunday morning.
Oh, look, it's a normal
But,
Sunday morning.
Usually,
It may pick up later. I think it'll pick up when it gets closer to the awards time.
Yeah.
Because people will be coming back to pick up their models and have their last little round as well.
Yeah. Well, so what do you got here? So this is all fantasy.
So I basically carry just figures and busts, fantasy, historical. I try to cover all genres.
Yeah. So are these like they're 3D printed, or like are they actual full size models?
Some are traditional resin casts.
Resin casts.
Some are 3D printed.
Yeah.
3D printing's fairly new when it comes to mainstream companies.
Yeah.
There are a couple of companies now that are solely now going to just go 3D printing, but still are going to be very high end.
Yeah.
So the price probably won't be affected. There's a lot of people thought, oh yeah, when 3D printing comes, it'll be cheaper. I don't think it will because of the quality that they're putting them out as.
So you have like a business name?
Yeah, it's Spec Mod Models Australia, but most people just know me as Spec Mod.
Spec Model. So you're online. Got a online address?
Yeah, so it's just www.specmodmodels.com.
All right. Okay. So people can hop on there, see the range of products that you've got, and also obviously there's a lot of skill that would have to go into what. So a lot of these, do you need to paint? So
yes,
they're basically
they all come in kit form.
I see. Yeah.
So basically,
so there'd be a lot of figure painting as a skill.
So basically, when you get one, it'll come in your main body, and then you may have a few parts that you have to put in. Some parts you may glue the whole thing together and then paint it as a whole.
Yeah.
Or you may have to paint parts individually before you stick them on. And then generally they try to give you a bit of artwork to go off, but if it's a fantasy piece, there's actually no real rule to how you paint it. You paint it to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And that's what the hobby's about. It's about enjoying what you do.
Yeah. And it's like anything. It's like the skills and technology, like the technology and the skill that's being put into 3D design and boxing these and presenting them as a product, and then people are able to consume that. So they come along and it's like, oh, I want to, I like this figure. I want to be able to put my own slant on it. I may paint it the way that I want.
Any figure, even a historical figure, as a general rule, you're going to try to paint it accurately to what it represents, whether it's a German soldier or a Viking or a Roman. Yeah. But if you want to add your own flair to it, there's no rule that says you can't. You can have as much fun with it as you like.
Yeah, that's right. Well, look, fantastic. Thank you very much. Julius, your arm must be dropping off by now.
It's hanging on. Hanging on for your life.
A bit shaky there.
Yeah, so thank you for holding the mic vigilantly. I'm just going to self-congratulate my co-host here. But regardless, look, great stand. And I'm sure there are probably a lot of people that have walked away very satisfied, happy with, their purchases.
Hope so.
Yeah, exactly. But you come back each year? Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I generally do the show circuit as best as I can. So generally, always this is the first one for the year. And then I'll do your Melbourne, Brisbane, Canberra.
Yeah. So you're about.
The Canberra show I've supported for many, many years.
Yeah.
Both as Spec Mod and also I've helped a couple of other companies prior to that.
Might see you at Scale Act again?
100%. I've already
said awesome. Yes. Yeah, that's promising to be a little bit special this year. So a few things going on in the background. So, being part of that.
I think Canberra's really, really advanced. The show has really, it was at a level where it was sort of sitting there, and then of a short time, it just went pow, and it went up, and it's great. It's fantastic to see.
I think everyone benefits, when it comes to the organisation and the results. So, Canberra benefits from everyone. So Canberra itself wouldn't be able to hold what it holds without the support of vendors, without the support of sponsors, without the support of other clubs. So really, it is more of a communal effort than some people 100%. might expect.
Yeah. There's a lot of organising that goes into it. Yeah. And I think the more support you get, the better show you get.
So I'll leave you with it.
Okay,
it looks like you've got some up and coming, perhaps you never know. You never know. They may be interested, but yeah, absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much, and
My pleasure.
yeah, we'll bump into each other again. Into each other again. I can't even talk right now. At Scale Act.
Yes,
Yes,
100%.
absolutely. All right.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too. All right.
There you go. So that was the Spec Mod stand. Looks like they've had quite a successful show. As you mentioned yesterday, we
Yes.
kind of tried to get a word in, but it's been pretty busy.
Yeah. Yes.
So now we've got, we're going to wander over to the Australian Plastic Modelers Association stand to see what's going on. So of course at this show there's been a couple of other clubs in attendance. So APMA is one of the Sydney clubs.
They have been busy, so don't want to interrupt too much, but hey, you guys. Have you got like 5 minutes? Can we annoy you for 5 minutes and just talk about APMA? And yeah. How you going? Firstly, I'm Triston.
Triston, Carlo, President of the
Carlo.
APMA.
Fantastic.
Julius, how are you?
Nice to meet you.
So what we're doing is this is a live stream. by the
Yeah,
way.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
I think we mentioned that we might be popping around. I saw you guys were really busy. Julius and I sort of walked past. We saw that you were really busy yesterday. So we sort of, improv and said something, but it would be great to hear from yourself a little bit more about the APMA, what you brought along here today, and whether you're enjoying the show.
Well, firstly, the show's good. Great, actually. I've been coming to the show for many years.
Yeah.
And the APMA has been represented since they started. As you can see, we started back in 1975. So we're quite a long-standing
Almost 50
club.
years.
Yeah. So, that doesn't show our age, but close to it.
Youthful 21. Yeah.
It's a very it's not a very big club. It's a smallish club. We've got about maybe 80 to 90 members, and the displays that we have here is basically what we do. In fact, over the years, we've broadened our. So we do everything, whatever's enjoyable. Who cares?
I noticed there's certainly a wide range of things.
Indeed.
There's, of course, a lot of aircraft,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
there's tanks,
Yeah,
figures,
science fiction.
sci-fi,
Yeah.
very wide range of
And
things
we
on display.
have magazines. We have 2 types of magazines. It comes out 4 times a year. And our membership is not that big compared to bigger clubs like the IPMA. But look, we love it.
It doesn't have to be as big.
It doesn't have to be at all.
Yeah.
Our enjoyment is moderate.
Yeah.
It's something for guys to get away and ladies, just to get away. We do all this. We talk. We mumble. Yeah, no,
It's the
great.
social scene as well.
It is.
Sort of, I can see the magazines here. They look great.
Yeah.
So obviously they highlight, some of
The
the.
main articles from the members.
Yeah,
So the
right.
members,
Yeah.
some of them might do something in particular. So I recommend you talk to us. Sure. Why don't we put it in black and white? Or in this case, we're actually going more into colour as years go on.
Yeah.
Back in
Okay.
the day, colour was very expensive.
So these have been
today-
around. Like this has
from
been
day
done
one.
from APMA for a long time. Yeah. So in other words, you've just been improving and improving.
As you go along
getting
with
better and better.
technology,
Yeah.
we improve. Computers now, everyone's got something, so it's easy to put something down.
Yeah. Okay.
Have
Well,
you built any
great.
of the models on?
This one is one of mine.
Do you want to talk a little bit about it?
It's a MPC 148 studio scale Eagle freighter. They range in price, I won't say. With this particular one, I spent extras for lighting, LED lighting. I spent extra for the aluminium bells, extra for the rocket engines, the ladder, the man 3D printed, working parts. It's an inbuilt. I built the interior with pilots. It's a lovely kit. It took me about 2 years to complete. But I myself, back in the day, I was the airliner at Vicendo.
Oh yeah.
See how airliners were that big? You start to consider, oh, where am I going to put all this?
Yeah.
So,
Eventually, you're going to run out of space.
yeah, which I did. So now, I mean, I do a lot of cars. I mean, I've got my cars here. Did quite well this year, actually. I did really well. I'm impressed with myself. I don't come here for competition. You don't understand that. It's something that I adored to do. Now that I'm retired, it's even more fun.
Yeah.
It's relax. It's
Keeps you engaged.
yeah. Keeps the mind going.
Yeah.
Keep in contact with my friends. These are friends. They're not just a social thing. It's friendship. You know,
Yeah, when you're connecting with other people and you sort of, you know, oh, I've got a question about, you know, how do you do this with this
that's
technique?
exactly right.
And,
Yeah,
you know,
ideas flowing.
yeah.
Backwards and forwards. You know.
And that's how you're able to do what you do. It's like, you
Yeah,
know, okay,
yeah.
well, how do I do it in this order? Or do I, you know, what do I do to get this finished? And I think APMA, just like a lot of very good social groups
Yes.
online, it is a social group. It's a community and social group, and it's important the
It is.
feedback that
It is.
that you get from everyone. So the magazines obviously represent that as well. Here you've got feedback
Yeah.
that's coming back. It's being redistributed.
Not only do we have that, we do have the other magazine called Skull Views.
Yeah.
That's an internet base.
Yeah.
So we send it out as PDFs to all members.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And that's in full colour, which is easily done.
Yeah. Fantastic. So, what are you finding in the show as a highlight? Is there anything that you thought, oh wow,
For me, the highlight is just coming here and enjoying all this, all the plastic.
Yeah.
It really is amazing.
Yeah, it's quite
Like I said, I've been coming here for many years, and it's one of the shows that I love coming to. I also go to Canberra. The club goes to Canberra, and that's another show that's fantastic. You know, so we're always occupied. We're always in that modelling world.
And if people want to find you, do you have a, you know, obviously you
No.
talk about an online presence?
Yeah. We're on the internet.
APMA.Sydney.
Gmail.
Yeah, gmail.com.
Yeah,
right.
And everything is there.
And you got a website too, www.apma.org.au.
I assume probably monthly meetings?
Every second Saturday of the month, we have a meeting. Occasionally, there might be a hiccup that a show might be on, which can't do it, which we go either the first Saturday or the third Saturday. And we always do it from the morning to the afternoon.
It's a full day.
It's a full day, you know. And while we're there, you get meals and the clubs where they take us in, the venues, they're just great. And we love going there. And some people come from, literally, there's a member of ours that comes to the club from Canberra or the mountains. They come from the mountains to come down and socialise with us. That's fantastic, you know.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Well, that's fantastic. And I think that's sort of representative of the APMA and, you know, the feeling that people have and the communal spirit. Thank you very much
You are very
for your time.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's good talking with you, and it's good to see your presence here. Are you going to be at Scale Act a little bit later this year?
Yes,
by
actually, I
chance?
will be.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I've been going there now for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a drive, but who cares?
Yeah.
I make it an outing, like a holiday, mini holiday.
It's always best effort. Yeah, thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you very much.
Good talking with you.
Enjoy your day today.
Thanks for supporting the show.
Always.
Okay, I think we'll move on to the next.
Indeed.
And
Thank you very much.
yeah, good live stream. Okay,
All the best.
cheers, mate.
That's fine.
Okay, so lovely chat, and I
Do you want to
think
have a look at some of these figures here? And of course, I was just talking to Andrew from SpecMod,
Yeah.
and you know this is similar to
It is,
some of the work that he's done.
about
Of course, there's a mix of some Warhammer. There's a little bit further along, there's some of the more traditional figures and busts. Some of the skill to paint these is quite incredible. I think a lot of these tend to be done with a lot of brushwork because you can't get quite that fine levels of detail and precision with the airbrush.
the category is impressive, and yeah, it's a skill set unto its own, as we've said before. Figure painting, and you know, when you see the quality here in person, yeah, it's quite something to behold. But yeah, we sort of, I think we'll call it there. We've got, I think we've seen just about everyone we need to see in this live stream. I hope everyone has enjoyed this live stream. It's been fun presenting it to you, and I think hopefully we're here next year. But there are so many more topics that we could run through. But at this point, we are heading towards the end of this live stream. So